I'm Lauren from Pack Hacker, and in this video we're going to be taking a detailed look at the Away Convertible Backpack 45 liters, which I've been testing for the last 2 weeks. If you found this video helpful, hit subscribe so we can keep making content that helps you travel smarter. Let's dive in. This pack here is made with a abrasion-resistant recycled polyester, which it has done well, but you can kind of see a few markings on the top here, and those happened pretty quickly, like right at the beginning of my testing phase, and it's more of an aesthetic thing than anything else, but just something to keep in mind with the kind of the wear and tear over the course of my testing here. And then the rest of it is pretty sleek, so you can sort of see with our lights here, there's like an outline of an A for Away. It's very subtle, it kind of adds a little bit of dimension to the pack, which is nice to see, but overall pretty sleek in general, and then a little bit of a tag down here. This is super lightweight, so considering its size, it's a little less than 3 pounds, which is really nice. It packs super flat, and so if you're looking for something that you just want to kind of keep out of the way until you need it, this is really great for that. Unfortunately, it is a little bit floppy, so you'll sort of see that once I actually get it on my back, but in general the materials are flexible, but almost a little too flexible. It's kind of hard to hold its shape unless it's fully packed out. But in terms of other external features here, we have a little bit of daisy chain action on the top here. If you wanted to like attach any extra gear, when you have this is when you have this pack on as a backpack, this is the very top, and then otherwise this is going to be like the side if you want to use the side carry. So you have 3 handles as well, one here, and then one at the very top, but nothing on the bottom here. So there are a couple of different ways to carry it, depending on how you're feeling, just quick grabs, things like that. It's nice and easy. The harness system on this is fairly simple as well. There are 2 different ways to carry it. The first way is in this backpack form. So you've got these 2 kind of thinner, they're like thick in padding but thin in width, backpack straps. They're fairly comfortable. Even with this thing packed out, it felt like I was, supported enough. Again, it does have a saggy design, which you'll see in a second. And then you do have a sternum strap as well for a little extra support on a rail system, so it's nice and easy to move. So then if you wanted to take off these backpack straps, they are attached with gatekeeper clips that are spring loaded, so they fling out pretty quickly. Just kind of keep that in mind. I've hit myself multiple times with that. It just stings your fingers a little bit. And then you tuck the backpack strap away here, and it's out of the way. For the sake of time, I'm not going to do the other one, but this does zip shut when the backpack straps are fully gone. And then you have a luggage pass-through as well. There is a little bit of padding on this back panel. It's a little bit of mesh. You can see it picks up pet hair and dust and just kind of like lint and things like that pretty easily, but it is nice and comfortable otherwise. And then you have, let's see, on this side here, if you wanted to attach the side carry strap and just kind of carry it as a duffel bag, you can use those same gatekeeper clips and just attach them on either side there, and then you have a little bit of padding from this strap. This is the first way to carry this bag, so you can just carry it like a standard duffel, either over one shoulder or across your body. Right now I just have it across my body. I didn't really find one to be more comfortable than the other, because you really do, you can see right now it just has a very saggy shape to it. So because that material is so flexible, it really is just pulling all of the weight down, and I didn't really find a way for that to kind of not happen. It just was sort of saggy no matter how I had it. Of the 2 ways to carry this bag, I would say the backpack mode is the most comfortable, just because you do have a decent amount of back padding there. It's fairly flexible because of that material, and so if you don't have, there's no like back panel or anything to keep any structure, so it does kind of form to your back. Unfortunately, it is, like in the other mode, pretty saggy. You can see it's just sort of pulling me back. Maybe it could benefit from load lifters or something like that, but I think in general, this sort of a carry is a little bit lackluster. The secondary compartments on this pack are pretty simple as well. So starting off on the side here, we have a quick grab pocket, and then this is, I just have like my headphones, keys, and like wallet in here. It's a fairly large pocket. You can see, I mean, you can't see, but my fingers are about, I think they're about here. So it's about halfway through the actual pack itself. So it is fairly roomy, and then it is the width of the pocket as well. And so that's a really great spot for just any quick gear that you just want to access on the go. And then if you have the side strap on, these are going to be attached at both of these points here. Let me turn it this way actually. It's going to be attached at both of these points. And so, you know, that's going to be facing up. So it's nice and easy to access. Additionally, you have the laptop compartment. So these compression straps really do help to lock things down. It doesn't help a ton with the sag, but these straps, you can see the extra material here does sort of cover that zipper for the laptop compartment. More of a nuisance than anything. It's not like a huge deal, but something to keep in mind. And then this opens up. This in here, it's rated for up to a 15-inch device. This here is a 16-inch MacBook. This is just our 3D printed version to kind of use as a scale. You can see it doesn't fit in perfectly. You know, I kind of have to put it in at an angle, but if you wanted to store a large device like that in here, it does fit. Just keep in mind, it's not as easy as, like, I have a 13-inch for my everyday, and that just kind of dumps in there nice and easy. There's a little bit of padding there. It's pretty cushy on that back, which just sort of helps with the comfort on that back panel as well. So again, pretty comfortable to carry just from like a general standpoint, but it is a little bit saggy. Then going to this top compartment here. So these all are CCBS zippers. They are extremely loose. So not loose so much as they are just like really easy to unzip. You can see it's a bit of a chunky zipper, but like, let's say for instance, I just open it up that much, I can really just open the rest of it fully. And so I found myself, it was kind of nice because you get like really quick access, but I was really worried that if I were to have this unzip just a little bit, that if I were to catch it on something, it would just completely open, because you can see how easy that is to just unzip around the corners and everything. So again, kind of not a huge deal, but something to keep in mind because that is the main compartment zipper as well. So in here, you just have a few different pockets. This top pocket is good for, you know, really just like larger items that you want to keep separated. I did wish that there was a little bit more internal, like tighter internal organization for smaller gear in here, just because, you know, I've got some papers and my keyboard in there, and then nothing else in that little compartment here. I've got like a little hat, and then here I've got my mouse and a charging, a wall charger there and a cable. But other than that, anything that was a little bit too small kind of felt like it got lost in here. What is nice about this compartment is that you do have a little bit of like width there. You can see that there's a bit of a wall to this compartment, and it does go into these corners here. And so if you wanted to, like, for example, tuck that hat out of the way, you can. I also was able to get like a pair of shoes in here. I have a kind of low profile pair of boots, and I brought them as an extra pair of shoes. I didn't want to put them in the main compartment because I didn't have a shoe pouch on me at the time. And so I just put them in here because there wasn't really anything else in here, and it worked really great for that. And I was able to close this. So you do have a decent amount of space in this top compartment here. I just wish it was organized a little bit better. Now on to the main compartment. So this is where a bulk of your organization is going to be. You have some zipper pulls that make it nice and easy to grab the zippers here. These are the same CCBS that just easily unzip. Again, kind of nice if you need to get in there really quickly and just kind of want to rip it open, otherwise a little bit concerning. So this flips open. You can see I decided to not utilize packing cubes this time, and I'll kind of walk you through that in a second. But on this flip side, on this like lid of the pack itself, there are two mesh zippered pockets. You can kind of see my hand through there, and they're really, really stretchy. So I ended up using these just for like my underwear. I have a Kindle in here as well, so you can kind of put whatever you want to in there. These are separated. There's a seam down the middle, so these are independent storage, but I used, it was kind of nice. I just used one for clean and then one for dirty, so that I just knew where everything was in there. It was nice and separated, all that good stuff. So into this main area here, we have these compression straps, or just a compression strap that goes across the board. So it's kind of this V shape that locks down the sides of all of your clothing, and then it's just one little compression strap all across the center there. Nice and easy to adjust as needed, and then unbuckles when you want to get to the gear inside. So I didn't really feel like I needed packing cubes for this one, but if you are going to be carrying a lot, like I just kind of threw my clothes in here. I mean, they're folded, but like I just kind of like packed everything up and everything fit nicely. But if you're going to be carrying like less clothing and more of other items, you're really going to want to utilize cubes to keep everything organized. So I'll kind of show you what that looks like. Like if I were to take all of these items out here, just gonna kind of stack everything to the side. Oh, you know, a little loose pair of socks there. There is just a completely empty space in here. And then on the sides, you have 2 mesh pockets. So these mesh pockets are really, they're not quite the right size for like shoes. So you can't use them really as like a shoe compartment, but I have one here. This is just kind of my like trusty makeup pouch there. And then on the other side, I have all of my toiletries. And so I just sort of used these 2 pockets to keep those items separated. But if these are full and you have other smaller items, again, you're gonna wanna use pouches. So one thing that you can kind of see from the like just top down here is that there's not a lot of structure to this pack itself. And so that was something I found myself running into a lot, is when I was sort of like living out of this. I went to go visit my sister for the weekend out of town. And so I was living out of this bag. And every time I needed to get to something, it felt like I was kind of like fighting, like it wasn't organizing it for me almost. You know, some packs, when they have a little bit more of a structured wall, it feels like you're just sort of setting things in there. It almost feels like a drawer. This one felt like, you know, as I was taking gear out, it was like crushing down on this side, and then these sides were expanding out, and it was really kind of hard to keep my gear in check. And then on top of that, when this compartment was really full, it started pulling down this back side here. And so I did find that it was a little bit of a struggle to pack out. I felt like I was fighting the sides a little bit more. So if structure is something that's really big for you, you're going to want to go for a different pack, just because this one here, both on the outside and the inside, just lacks that all around. But you do have a ton of space to work with. So I mean, had I optimized these clothing a little bit more, I could definitely fit a ton of gear in here. They say like 3 to 5 days worth of gear, but you could definitely get more than that, especially if you're utilizing a capsule wardrobe. So you do have a lot of space. If that's your main concern, then this is a really great pack for that. So there you have it, the Away F.A.R Convertible Backpack 45 liter. Thanks for keeping it here at Pack Hacker, your guide to smarter travel, and we'll see you in the next one.